Work session of City Council, November 1st, 20. The council. And you got a microphone here.
So you may need to talk a little loudly for that one. There you go.
Okay, my name is Carl Tearaway. My address is 1908 Riverview Drive. I'm in Ward 2. I believe you all have this sheet in front of you. It's 2 sheets. That's the plot of land. In March 25, I live on lot 33. In March of 25, I purchased lot 32, 34, 35, 27, and 37. I want to change the lot line to combine the lots, 25, 37, and part of 35. I contacted Fessler and had the survey done. Supposedly, Mr. Fessler had the numbers down here mid-June. In June, I'm ignorant how the whole situation works, so I came down and Planning and Zoning had it. And they thought they could do it some other way than platting the land. Well, it turned out they couldn't. So on August 7th, he got a hold of me, or I came down and said I had to fill out the form, get the plat done, and he said I had to write out a $100 check to get the process going. Okay, then it wasn't until September 29th that he contacted me again and said he needed another $600, which I went home and got the check and brought it back. Now, between August 7th and September 29th, I don't know why something didn't get done. He didn't get the notice in the newspaper until mid-October, so he couldn't get the Planning and Zoning meeting until November. So November 10th was the Planning and Zoning meeting, and they approved changing it. On the second page is how I want the lots to end up looking. November 17th was a city council meeting, and Mr. Kimmen came in and told me, he says, there's only a couple days from November 10th, there was a holiday in there, and he says, didn't have time, so I'm off the docket. So I didn't get it approved. Supposedly it'll be done tonight, this December 1st, so that's almost 6 months. And in the time that it isn't getting done, I'm paying the insurance, utilities, taxes, and doing the maintenance on it. And I don't believe the city, anybody on the city council was aware of any of this. I'm just letting you know how it feels and what's happened to me. So, thank you.
Speak.
My name is Shane Cole, 23596 233rd Street in Pierce. I do have some properties in Little Falls, and I am very concerned. I'm not going to hit your 3-minute mark, but I'd like to address a couple issues. Number one, snow removal, major fail on the city's part. I'm not sure exactly whose fault it is, but we did have, one of the biggest. Friday is, one of the biggest retail, as well as the Santa Parade, and then Small Business Saturday. I was told by another business owner the lowest amount of sales they've done in prior years. My biggest issue actually has nothing to do with snow removal. I just want to inform everyone, the city of Little Falls has a sales tax for restaurants, and the citizens of Little Falls pay for those. It goes directly to the city of Little Falls to pay for marketing, for tourism. Unfortunately, right now we put the money to a nonprofit organization to deal with that issue, to market tourism. So, unfortunately, the biggest problem is to become a member of that organization. You have to pay dues as well. So, the input is kind of solely relies on the council or the city itself. The board of that nonprofit is made up of members that they pay dues. The committee that does the tourism also pays for, you have to be a member to pay dues for that. So in my mind, the city itself is in charge of that money. But a couple of my concerns would be that how the funds are being spent is a little questionable in my, the idea of 10% is doing administration. And I understand the rule that it's all for tourism, but as a business owner that pays for that through the customers that pay for it, which is typically the city residents. So the visit of Little Falls site is paid for by the tourism money. On that page, we have businesses that are not in the city of Little Falls. They are in the county, but they're getting a benefit, and we are advertising for other citizens and other businesses that are not part of the city ordinances, I guess you could say. But my next point would be that the major funds that get paid for goes to a major brochure that is sent out to numerous locations. I've seen them at the Mall of America and different locations. But that magazine, that brochure, features also businesses that are not part of the city of Little Falls at all. So they're getting the benefit as well. Now, I do know that brochure is paid for partially by advertising, but if you do look on the website as well as their brochure, it's featuring businesses that are not part of the city of Little Falls. So that was my short rant. So.
Hearing none, we will move on to bills discussion. Is there any on the bills? Hearing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda items. Any discussion on the consent agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on to council information only items. First one is the additional year-end check run. Sony.
All right, thank you, Council President. So we have an action item later on in our City Council meeting tonight about having an additional check run for the end of this year. How the council dates have fallen, we have the first one tonight on the 1st, and then our second and last one of the year is December 15th. So with that, we would have to have all of our checks entered and reviewed and ready to be approved by December 10th. Which is quite early to hit the end of the year. So that gives us 20 days between December 10th and the end of the year. So my request is just the ability to have an additional check run planned for the last week of December, partially because it's year end and partially just so we don't have any late payments going out with the 3 weeks between December 15th council meeting and I think it's January 3rd council meeting or January something council meeting. So that's really what this is about. It's just how the timing of this month fell for our council dates.
Anybody have any questions?
How do we facilitate it? I'm fine with an extra batch, but
So So what we're looking at doing is to do a check run that'll be available for review on Monday, December 29th, and then pending informal review, so that could be emailed out. Pending informal review, we would mail out checks on the 31st, so it'd allow for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for review, and then you guys to pull questions or call with questions. And then the formal check, it would be formally on the first council meeting of January to actually formally approve them. It just gives us the ability to mail them out prior to that that first January meeting. And also it gives you the ability to say, hey, hold off on that before anything gets mailed out. And this is for any regular checks, mostly utility bills, like our power bill, that type of thing. It's not for any big expense or expenditure that we're looking at doing, just the regular operating type expenses.
As long as none of it would be considered discretionary.
No, no. Yep, that's all.
Will this go up for action at the?
Yes.
Yep, it's 9A under new business.
All right, moving on to item B, possible charter commission members. Ellen.
Yep, thank you, Council President. So this is for the council and for public who are here or maybe looking or watching online. We are looking to assemble a charter commission in the near future. So we're going to need about 7 members for that. The requirements are that they live within city limits and that they're able to attend the meetings during our charter, what we're looking at redoing our charter, and then an annual meeting requirement minimum after that. So we're just looking for citizens who want to be involved with that. Again, they have to live in city limits. So council will also be reaching out in the near future for name recommendations.
Discussion from the council.
So state requirement is that once the Charter Commission is formed, they need to meet at least once annually at a minimum. So once the charter has been updated, it's just a quick, hey, review of the charter, let's look good, do we need to make any changes? If so, you go about it.
1 year later or every,
Annually, every year, yep.
all right, thank you.
And this is like other committees, that they, if it's a non-council member, they get paid?
It has to be non-council members. I assume there's pay. I would need to double check that. We've been working on the bylaws, but and we'll get you the details. I assume so, yeah. But we'll iron out those details as well.
Any other discussion? Any constituent messages?
Mr. President, if I could, I've had probably approximately 13 phone calls, maybe more, last 4 or 5 days. A lot of them had to do with snow removal, and the rest had to do with the levee. And I told them they were welcome to call me anytime. I gave Dave a number of one of them that called me today, and we had about a half-hour conversation. And so I just wanted to bring that up, that they are especially concerned about the snow removal.
The only one I had to, by the old Pine Edge Inn, it looked like they pushed the snow out of the parking lot or something, and they took up half the road right in front of a stop sign. And then, from the Pine Edge heading north, just big pile there, it looked like, and, I don't think that was safe, because when I drove through there, you had to go way to the left. Somebody's coming around the corner to come in there, could have been an accident. So they have to put their snow somewhere else.
Dave, just.
I've gotten calls from my wife's best friend, wrote me a letter, it was very nice, but in the other calls I've gotten, 3 of them were for the snow removal and a couple for the levy, obviously, and I tried to explain to them about the levy when they got their property tax statement. That's just a proposal, and that's not what it's gonna be. So, you know, I hope I kind of explained to them, but yeah, I did get 3 calls and 1 letter about the snow removal. So we need to try, in the future, we need to do something, I think. I don't know what it is, so.
Quickly?
Well, yeah, quickly. It's already 7:30. I mean, we're not gonna touch on this like we should. This, let me be a little bit more harsh. This episode of snow removal is completely unacceptable. I mean, it was
Agreed.
bad. So I want some answers on why we didn't do anything. You know, and I don't know when we can continue the discussion. We're 1 minute over to start a meeting. I had suggested to Alex earlier today that we move the other stuff on the work session agenda because I knew we weren't gonna have time for this. So now we're bumping into our regular meeting and we're not addressing this.
We can resume the special session after the regular meeting.
Okay, well, that would be good. There's a lot of discussion on the snow removal. I think everybody on the council has gotten a lot of phone calls about that, so. With that being said, it is 7:31. I will call the regular city council meeting of December 1st, 2025 to order. We do have a quorum. Please stand for the pledge.